This is going to be second in my series of learning to metal detect videos. The first one was all about the basic equipment you need. Now this week we're going to do one on where can you detect legally and not get yourself in trouble, because there's a lot of people really not quite sure about this. And I'm not going to tell you most detailed things, but I'm going to tell you the basics of where you can detect, where you can't detect, and what you need to do to detect in certain places. So I'm going to be about 5 points, so I'll get on with them now. Now I'm including this one. I know most people would think, well, it's pretty obvious, but it's not pretty obvious actually, because I've had a friend of mine who I work with telling me about how she went out with her grandson doing a bit of metal detecting for the first time. Now they had a great time digging up ring pulls, and then when I asked her actually where she went, my hair stood on end because it involved the word castle. So I'm going to have to just really make this clear. You cannot go on anything that is a scheduled monument. So that's something that's of historical importance to the country. Most things will have historical, have it labelled up if you look, usually on national heritage. But just as a bit of a reminder, that includes castles, old churches, fell down monuments, stone circles. Anything that's very historical is usually a big massive no, don't do it. And please don't have any of my friends telling me again that you've been detecting local castle, because I don't want to be involved with that. Right, so make sure that if you are detecting that it's not a historic building, historic church, historic castle, historic manor house or hall. You can't go near any of those, none at all. All right, that's just a big no, don't even try it. Parks. I want to discuss parks because this is a really grey area of whether you can detect in parks, whether you can't. You might not have even thought about it. You might just think that you can go to a park. Usually what happens is no right and wrong with this. It depends upon your local council. Now most parks are owned by your local council, and some councils are metal detecting friendly and other ones are not. For example, I live in the Rochdale area. I've spent about 2 days ringing about 40 different departments in Rochdale Council to try and find out if I could get some special permission just to visit a park that's near me, that's of interest, and the answer was no. I even wrote them a bit of a business plan on how to make detecting legal in Rochdale, and it was still a big fat no. So under no circumstances could I get any permission to detect in Rochdale. However, I do know that some people, a couple of friends of mine, have had permission in different areas, not Rochdale Council, and in that case they can go. What I would say to you, if you're not sure, ring up your local council, explain to them you'd like to metal detect, and the answer will be either yes or no. But if somebody just says yes to you on the phone, what I would do is I'd make sure you get written permission off them, because if somebody does stop you, park ranger or somebody in the parks, asks you if you who said you could detect there and you've got no evidence, there is a chance that you could actually get arrested, fined, and in the worst case, have your equipment took off you as well and confiscated. You wouldn't want that, would you? So that's the answer to that. There's no right, there's no wrong. Some councils allow metal detecting, other councils don't allow metal detecting under any circumstances, and some councils will just give special permissions to certain people. So it's a really grey area. My only advice to you would be get in touch with your council. Don't just open your box for your metal detector and nip down the park, because it's not worth it if you get yourself in trouble, is it? So yeah, that's the answer to parks. It's not one answer that I can give you that's clear. So, lovely sunny day, you've got your metal detector, you think, where should I go? Can't go in a park yet because I've not rung my council. You think I might pop down to the beach. Ooh, again, beaches. You know, most of them are owned by, I think it's the Prince of Wales, the royal family, I'm not sure. Some are owned by council, some are privately owned. But as a good starting point for you to be able to detect on your local beach, what you need to do is get yourself something called a Crown Estate permit. Now this permit allows you to go on beaches that are owned by the royal family between the low tide and high tide part of your beach. So that means when the sea's out and the sea's in, just that bit of beach. If you want to go detecting in the water, apparently there's another permit as well, just if you want to be completely legal. But this is really, really easy to apply for. I'm just going to put the link here for you. Okay, you just fill in your details, send it off to them, and they send it. It costs you nothing. It just makes you a little bit more legal. But again, if you're going on holiday and you think, well, I'll take my detector with you because I know what those metal detectors are like, find out if it's a private beach. If it is a private beach, then maybe, you know, try and find out who owns it if you want to get on there. But this, just remember, it doesn't cover you for everywhere in the country, unfortunately. Okay, and it doesn't also cover you for France either, all right, or anywhere abroad. It's just UK beaches. Okay, a good place to start to get out detecting is with a local club. There's lots on Facebook if you join some metal detecting groups that are around your area that every now and then offer open digs, which means, you know, you can be a guest on the club dig, or they do charity digs. Again, making money for a good cause and learning and meeting people and everything is fantastic. But again, there's some little rules a lot of clubs won't have you unless you have or are part of something called the NCMD, which is the National Council of Metal Detectorists. Now you can join this and you get a card, but it costs £8 a year for you to join, but you do get insurance with that, so you actually are insured. You're quite legal while you've got that there in your possession. Some clubs, when you turn up, will want to see it. You have to abide by a code of ethics, which is how to metal detect, you know, responsibly, not leaving big holes, you know, clearing up your mess, detecting where you're supposed to, you know, like we're talking about now. Also is good if you're going to go around to farmers or people that don't know you, and you're trying to get permission to get on their farm, because it makes you look little bit more credible, doesn't it? You know, it makes you look as though you are a responsible detectorist, which you are. And again, it's just something that you should have. Okay, so I'm going to put the address there for that. £8 a year it costs to join, and that keeps you fully insured and keeps you credible till the next year, till you pay another £8. Right then, so I hope that's helped you out a little bit if you've been a little bit unsure about certain things. And hopefully that advice is going to help you enjoy your hobby a little bit better, because it is the best hobby in the world, as they always say, every week. So I have made this series because I do feel a little bit responsible sometimes, because I've had a lot of people saying that I've inspired them to do metal detecting. And for example, that with my friend where she went off with her grandson, you know, detecting an area with a castle in it, you know. So I think if I am inspiring people to start detecting, I think it's a bit of a responsibility of mine just to make sure they try and do it right and try and keep everybody safe and legal. So next week I'm going to do, oh well, I say next week, next video in this series is going to be number 3, and that's how to get permissions and how to find things, because there's no point getting a permission if there's nothing on the field, is there? Which will become clearer next time. So until then, have a safe and legal, happy metal detecting. Diggity dig dig dig.